This is Shamika, and that's my husband Ishti, and on his lap is our precious cat Rinky.
Say hi, Winky.
I think
Rinky's in a good mood. Oh, never mind. I
no,
spoke too
no,
soon. She wants
no,
to go away.
no.
Okay.
She slapped
Alright.
you with her tail, so she
Alright,
clearly
yeah.
does not want to be here.
All right. It's summer in Vancouver, and
It
it's beautiful
is.
sunshine outside, and it's a great day to be doing another episode of Career Cats.
For sure. And how's your Sunday?
It's pretty good. Can't complain. What about yourself?
It's been pretty good. I went to do yoga in the morning, and after we shoot our episode, Ishti's thinking of going for a run. We have some beautiful places around Vancouver. So there's the English Bay where we usually go to run, and then Stanley Park. Lots of amazing places if you want to walk, if you want to explore the ocean. Lots of great places to hike as well, both within Vancouver and also outside. It's a beautiful city.
Sounds good.
Great.
So, today I want to talk a little bit about the AI jobocalypse. It's like job apocalypse, as in AI. There's a lot of news. It's been on the news for several news cycles now. No one's going to be surprised. Like, jobs are now harder to come by, especially at entry level, and there's job cuts all around, especially in tech. And there's a lot of misinformation out there about what this means for your career. If you, let's say, if you're struggling, if you got laid off because of AI upgrades in your company, or if you're fearful of the future, will I ever get a job again because is AI going to do everything, etc., etc. And then recently everyone's heard about Anthropic's Fable 5 launch, which is a really capable AI, but they had to discontinue it because it was apparently too powerful. So there's that type of hype also feeds into the mass hysteria about, oh no, AI is all powerful and all jobs are gone forever. Well, I can tell you, I've been using Fable 5. It's a very powerful model, and I can tell you something that even something like Fable 5, state-of-the-art, publicly, briefly available model, requires a human to be steering it, requires a human to be telling it what to do. I mean, there are some functions that you can automate. So let's say you're like you had a fake email job before. Your job was to receive email and then forward it to certain people. AI can probably handle that. That job those types of fake email jobs are gone. If your job was solely making presentations, probably not gonna last long, cause let's say you could like pump out 5 presentations before, an AI with proper harness and workflow can probably put out 15 in an hour, even more. But those fine-tuned touches will still require a human. So in a team, if there's like 5 fake email jobbers, they'll get rid of 4, keep 1. If there's 5 presentation makers, aka consultants, they'll probably keep 1, get rid of the 4. So those jobs will shrink, and they are shrinking. And that's a good thing. I mean, those are fake jobs anyway, and they're like dreary and depressing. So
I just wanted to would you be able to tell our viewers what Anthropic is in a little bit more detail, and maybe other
Anthropic is an
aspects?
AI company like OpenAI. It's probably not as famous amongst laymen as ChatGPT, but it's very well known in the dev and programming community. And a little bit of background, they recently released Fable 5, a very capable model. It was out for only 2 days, and then the US government put an embargo on it, like, oh, this model is too dangerous for public release. So now it's not available anymore. And I've used it quite a bit, and while it's an impressive model, I don't think my personal opinion is it's an incremental upgrade over Opus 4.8. But the point I was trying to make was, like, dreary, repetitive, fake jobs are gone. The presentation part, I mean, it's not just about making presentations, you also have to present it to an audience. So maybe that one there's still some leeway, but not much, because you also have like real-time voice AIs that can actually respond to questions in real time. So again, those jobs will shrink. So now I talked a lot about what jobs are shrinking, but what jobs are still there? Well, you still need humans to create training data for AI. So there's this whole bunch of companies, including XAI, that are hiring constantly for human annotators, data annotators. XAI calls them AI tutors. What they basically do is reinforcement learning, which is fancy technical term for after the pre-training is done, you kind of steer the AI in terms of style and preference and good taste. So that's what I was doing at XAI before I got my current job. I won't speak too much on it because strict NDAs, but yeah. So there's AI tutor jobs, tons of AI related jobs, and it's also opened up a new market for UGC creators, because of AI, people can make apps.
User generated content.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So people can make app, website, software as a service pretty rapidly, but the rebuilding is no longer a challenge. But what's become a real challenge is getting eyeballs on your product, getting people to know about your product. And so what a lot of people are doing is hiring UGC content creators on Fiverr, on Upwork, and all these platforms to make videos promoting products and whatnot, influencers and whatnot. Sometimes you don't even have to have an influencer. You can have zero social media following, but if you have good camera presence, you can, sign yourself up as a UGC content creator. And so there's that. There's data annotators. There's UGC content creators. There's also a new role that's been rising on the horizon. That's AI automation engineering. So you have all these AI, but tools and workflows, but you need a human who's going to come in, understand the organizational structure, integrate isolated silos together, and automate day-to-day boring tasks. Like someone has to automate PowerPoint creation, someone has to automate those fake email jobs where you just forward email and assign tasks and whatnot. So these skills are very lucrative. These jobs are probably the sexiest jobs of 2026, unless of course you're actually an LLM researcher at a top lab like Anthropic and whatnot. But in order to get these types of jobs, AI engineer jobs or AI automation engineer jobs, you actually need to showcase like, hey, look, I built this automation end to end, like automating a Twitter account management, or automating email replies, or automating video creation and video posting on TikTok at 3 times a day, those types of things. So there's tons of new opportunities. It's also a lot more lucrative to become an entrepreneur now, because on one hand, you're being replaced by AI, but also on the other hand, you're getting a really talented, very capable employee for $200 a month. Like before, you couldn't even hire a capable developer in Pakistan or Bangladesh or India for $200 a month. They will charge you for an hourly rate of 30 to 120 depending on how their capabilities are. So even offshore talent, which are known to be quote-unquote affordable, are way more expensive compared to how much you spend on AI, right? So you can use all these AI tools to create a website for yourself, to create a service that you can sell, to create a simple app that meets 100 people's needs, and there's tons of opportunities out there. So I think it's unwise to think of it as a jobocalypse, like, oh, it's a jobocalypse, we're all gonna die. Because similar panic was present when there was internet just coming, internet adoption was happening, and people thought, oh no, because of internet, all the jobs are gonna go offshore and we won't have any jobs anymore. But that was overhyped. Some jobs went to offshore, like call center jobs, some IT support jobs, but critical jobs still are very much in person. Same things are gonna happen with AI, like mindless busy work. And there's a lot of mindless busy work in various organizations, especially at banks. I feel like a bank with 10,000 employees, a bank really doesn't need 10,000 employees. 90% of their back office jobs can probably be automated. It'll take time because as they're very conservative, they need to do a lot of testing. But eventually, I think banking jobs will be the first to go because a lot of it is just busy work, like creating dashboards in Power BI, fully automatable, creating predictive. They don't even do predictive algorithms. They do super basic data analytics. 90% of data analytics jobs in banks are probably going to be automated away, and that's a good thing because a lot of it is busy work. It doesn't serve anybody. It's just like a job for the sake of employing people. And I personally believe that there's a reason they have all these employees with busy work is because if, let's say, a financial crash happens like 2008, they can claim that oh, if you don't bail us out, if you don't give us a government bailout, all these 10,000 employees and 10,000 families will be unemployed. So that's like a card you play. So I believe that's a reason why there's so many busy work jobs. But anyway, I'm going off point. The point is a lot of the jobs are going to be automated. That is not hype. That is very real. A lot of the workflows are going to be automated. That's not hype. That's real as well. Graphics design, animation jobs are already very hard to come by. Only top 5 to 1% will keep their jobs in those fields, and those people who are at the top of their field, their capabilities are going to be amplified with AI. But the rest of the folks, like mid-tier folks and bottom-tier folks, so if you're not exceptionally talented in your field, probably a good idea to pursue entrepreneurship. Also look into opportunities like AI tutoring and starting up your own businesses, and or also upskilling yourself so you can be the one who's automating instead of being the person who's getting automated away.
And also this kind of leads me to another point, that when we think of those who are exceptionally talented in their fields, like how does that come by? Like, how do we define what is exceptional talent? Are there other sort of systemic barriers that we need to think about, or what names are kind of, out there within the public sphere, within the social sphere of who's exceptionally talented? Because sometimes there are people who are extremely talented, they're brilliant at what they do, but we just don't know them, right? So I guess that's also another point to kind of consider, that there might be a lot of, let's say, graphic designers, artists, whose jobs are getting impacted because of AI. And exceptional talent in a lot of ways could be subjective, it could be systemic. Someone just might have more opportunities than others because of the environment that they're in, or the kind of support that they've had, and other aspects that need to be taken into consideration as well. So that's just one point I wanted to make. And I had a question for you. So what I'm hearing from, you've said several, you've mentioned multiple really, really important points. One point that I heard you kind of say, and do correct me if I'm wrong, is that AI, switching to AI and replacing human employees with AI is also a means of cost cutting. And I was wondering if, within this context, if AI makes mistakes, then what happens? Do you think?
I mean, humans make mistakes too, right? So it's not just AI making mistakes. And as days go by for specialized tasks like accounting or analytics, AI is making less and less mistakes, especially stuff that's involving numbers. But these days, even creating background music, for example, a TV show, AI can create pretty usable background music. It doesn't need to be a maestro like Hans Zimmerman or some famous Hollywood music producer. I mean, if you're doing a low budget TV show, so that's the point I'm trying to make. It's the best time to be an entrepreneur. So imagine if you're trying to make a film before, you will need millions of dollars for special effects. Those special effects are now available for, let's say, $4 to $5 on tools like VO, Google VO, Gemini VO, or Cdance, and there's a bunch of other models and providers that can create special effects for you, that can create background music for you. You don't. You can make a short film just by stitching together a bunch of AI videos and showcase your talent. About what you said earlier about talented people not and systematic barriers, I won't talk about systematic barriers because that's your area of expertise, but I will say something. If you're talented but you're like doing sketches and they're in a shelf in your room somewhere and no one gets to see it, that's not gonna get you that far. You need to put it on a website. You need to put it on like a profile portfolio somewhere,
Right.
somewhere public. You need to put it on YouTube somewhere where you will get eyeballs on it.
Yeah.
So the previous example I mentioned earlier, let's say in a team there's 5 people making slides, 5 consultants who go and present slides to clients like, oh, this is the current state of things, this is where we need to go. I just made this big ass PowerPoint and I hope you give us this job, right? So what's going to happen now is out of those 5 people, 1 person is probably exceptionally talented. The other 4 are probably good, but not as good as the one guy. So what's going to happen is like those 4 people are probably going to get laid off. The company's going to keep the one who's the best out of those 5. And they're going to tell him, hey, use these AI tools and then you can make more slides without the help of juniors and whatnot. So that guy gets to keep his job. So what makes that guy better than the other? There's stuff like, stuff that is like natural knack for things. Some people, like you can go to art school and learn all the formal techniques, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be like a Renaissance master like Leonardo da Vinci and whatnot, because some of that is God-given talent or nature gifted talent or whatever. So that guy who kept his job, he's naturally talented, he's probably worked at it. There's many books about what makes a master. Some people say 10,000 hours. You spend 10,000 hours doing something, you become a master at it. So there's that. The one guy who kept his job, he probably practiced more than than the rest. He probably put in more hours than the rest. He probably has natural eye for aesthetics. So nature and God's gift, you can't really manufacture that, but what you can manufacture is picking a task and putting 10,000 hours into it so that you are exceptionally skilled in that task. That way you want to keep your job. But I wouldn't really recommend that way, because then you're like closing other options for you. Let's say you spend 10,000 hours purely doing graphics design. You're like one of the best graphics designers in your field. Let's say you specialize in video games. So now you have narrowed yourself to video game industry and you're a graphics designer in the video games industry. You have put in 10,000 hours, so now you're a master. But now you have like cornered yourself into a very niche category, and let's say despite putting 10,000 hours, let's say your taste and your eye for things is no longer considered contemporary. Maybe you have been doing this for 30 years and the aesthetics seem dated, and there's a new fresh kid on the block, his style is fresh, it's new. This is where the God-given talent comes in. And he might have not put 10,000 hours, maybe he put in 5,000, but his style is so fresh. This is what happens to musicians, right? A lot of musicians, early career, they're fresh, they're talented, like people are, flocking to them. And then it's not like Justin Bieber is not good at his craft. Of course, he made $300 million plus, but now he can probably, it's probably difficult for him to attract like Gen Z, because they didn't really
grow up here.
Grow up. Yeah. Like Taylor Swift probably sells out stadium better than Beyonce. Not that, but that doesn't mean Beyonce is less talented than Taylor Swift. She's just, her time has passed. So if you do 10,000 hours in a very niche field, there's a big risk. So I wouldn't recommend that. What I would recommend is expanding your skill set. I've been a journalist early career. I've been a copywriter early career. When I saw that, okay, journalism is going to die, newspapers is a dying business, it's fun to do as a side gig as a student, but this can't be my career. Then I switched to copywriting, better money, better job security, but then the big idea of advertising was losing out to like Google search ads and then performance marketing and stuff like that. So then I realized like, okay, this is also not a sustainable place to stay in. So I shifted, I learned to code, I got into data analytics. After I got into data analytics, I saw what AI could do, and I'm like, okay, I slowly need to shift towards machine learning and AI because that's the new thing. So you need to have an eye for thing, and you need to be upskilling what's next. You can't be, because right now, if you're an AI automation engineer, you don't have to be the top 1% in your field to keep your job. If you can show a company like, hey, look, if you pay me $150,000 a year, I can probably automate 10 jobs for you and create savings of probably anywhere between 500,000 to a million per year. So if you invest 1.5, you're making 10 times return on investment. So let's say you automate a job that used to take 40 hours per week. That's one employee. So let's say one employee's median salary is 80,000 per year in Canada in a white collar profession, right? So you automate that job, you're saving the company $80,000, and to automate it, it shouldn't take you, if you know how to use AI tools correctly, it shouldn't take you more than 2 to 3 weeks. So you earn half your annual salary in 2 to 3 weeks. Of course, you're investable, right? So if you can showcase those abilities, then you're in. And that's really the way to survive in an AI era, is to, you have two ways. One is you become an entrepreneur. Two, actually you have three ways. One, you become a specialized master in a very niche category, super risky. Two is you become an entrepreneur because you have AI employees for a fraction, pennies on the dollar. This is what I would recommend if you have an entrepreneurial spirit. Three is you don't want to be an entrepreneur, you don't want to be a master in a niche skill set. Then the third option for you is to become an automation engineer using this AI tool to automate workflows. Sorry, I thought I was going to sneeze at big companies. Yeah.
All right, okay. So we learned a lot of valuable information today as to how the job market is changing because of AI, but also you said that do not lose hope because there are ways for you to, have a great life, a sustainable lifestyle, things that you want to do. I really liked your idea about like entrepreneurship and like encouraging people to kind of explore that route as well. I would also add like investing. See if you can, like in Canada, for instance, if you have your TFSA or RRSP, FHSA, make sure that these are also in good investment accounts. See if there's any part or portion of your money that can be invested in stocks for better returns. So that's another way. I'm talking more about like finances and how to kind of make sure you are able to hit and meet your financial goals as well. But coming back to what you've spoken of, I think you've had some you've shared some great tips in terms of how to kind of navigate this ever-evolving job market.
Yeah, and what AI opens up is a lot of exciting new opportunities for entrepreneurship. Because think about celebrity status today. Like before, Oscar used to be a very big deal.
Right.
These days, nobody even realizes Oscars come and go because that stardom pool has been weakened because now there's so many independent content creators. People follow their own niche interests. Like there's like micro celebrities that are only known in certain circles.
Yeah.
Like there's looks maxing community where clavicular, a lot of people are into looks maxing and they follow clavicular, they follow his content. A lot of people are into like really fringe right-wing stuff, they follow Nick Fuentes. And then there's like different categories for different people, and now like celebrities don't have that all like massive pool anymore, because if you're into a small subculture, there's a content creator for you. If you're into leather pants, there's probably one guy who does content exclusively on leather pants, different types of leather, and you can like lose yourself in that. You want to ask me something?
Yeah, and I was also gonna say that there was this deification of celebrities at one point. So let's say if you see your favorite celebrity, even in the early 2000s, stepping out of the car, hordes of people would be surrounding that person, and they would have like security. I mean, they still have security, or everybody would want to be like them. They would want to emulate them or approximate them, or that celebrity became sort of this person that people would look up to, they want to see on screen. Now I think it's more spread out.
Yeah. So the same thing what content creators did for celebrity AI tools is going to do for big SaaS, software as a service companies like Salesforce, Hootsuite, and all these other software as a service companies are going to lose market share to small independent creators that can tailor a specific solution to a customer, because tailoring for just one customer is no longer a non-viable exercise. It is very much viable because you can code so fast. You have just one client, you create an entire solution from scratch. Let's say someone used to use Salesforce, which is a customer relationship management platform, and then it costs maybe like $200,000-$300,000 a year, different price for different companies, but around that. So you don't need to use Salesforce anymore. You can create like a smaller, more tailored version of Salesforce and sell it to somebody. And so we're going to see an explosion in big tech breaking up. Google is probably always going to be Google. It's hard to beat Google with a new search engine. But then there's so Google is like A-list of all the tech companies, right? Google, Meta. You're probably not going to be able to create a new Instagram and take market share from Instagram. But probably what you can do is you can take a piece out of Salesforce market share. You can take a piece out of Hootsuite's market share. Like all these unglamorous SaaS companies that are out there, you can they're gonna get broken up, nibble. Like smaller independent devs will take a nibble out of their share, and it's already happening. We're seeing a lot of tools already. Like PostBridge is something that an indie dev named Jack Fricks built, and it's already extremely popular. And I wouldn't be surprised if one day it rivals Hootsuite, because I mean it looks a lot better than Hootsuite, functions a lot better. So there's stuff like that, right? There's going to be tons of tools like that, and that's where the future is headed. So if you're not doing entrepreneurship in the age of AI, you're really losing out the benefits. You're only experiencing the hardships imposed by AI, but there's also a lot of benefits imposed by AI. And it's important to keep a eye out for those as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much. Were there any other suggestions or anything you want to sort of say before we close off our episode?
One last thing, if you're a non-technical person, you want to start entrepreneurship, you need a website set up, check out porkycoder.com. It's a tool that I built for my wife because she needed to float her own website, and I wanted to give her a solution that she can use without coding, and that's what PorkyCoder does for you. Just simply ask it to create a website. There's going to be a publish button. You click on publish. You can buy your domain from within PorkyCoder. And once you buy a domain and publish, everything, SSL, security, everything is handled for you. You can have your website live under your own name.com within less than 30 minutes, really. So it's something that's worth checking out.
Yeah, and just to add to that, I did use PorkyCoder to create my website, which is called shamikashabnam.com. So please do have a look. If you are thinking of creating and building your own website, then that will kind of give you an idea, and you can gauge what services PorkyCoder has to offer. So I would really encourage you to check out my website, shamikashabnam.com, and also Ishti's service, porkycoder.com.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. Take care.
Bye. Take care.